Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. I figured again, make this a premium public video discussion so that we cover all the impacts of this storm. Now, I get some locations, like around the Jersey Shore and Philadelphia Metro, you might be thinking to yourself, we're going to miss the brunt of this. Well, in terms of precipitation, yes. In terms of winds, well, not so much. And that, I think, is going to be a concern, especially as we move through the afternoon and evening hours. Now, right now, we have our double-barreled low-pressure system off the coast. We have winds backing to the northwest, around 10 to 20 miles per hour, times gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Those winds are only going to intensify as we move on through the day. We have periods of rain along the coast, some of it heavy at times around Long Island and the Connecticut coast, and heavy wet snow over the interior. We have seen some of the images from various followers on Twitter and on Facebook of the size of these snowflakes. Now, what typically happens is that because the snow is so wet, the snowflakes actually kind of clump together, so it looks like one big snowflake, when in reality it's probably about maybe 5 or 6 different snowflakes all clumped together, falling to the ground, and it looks like an amazing scenic view, but at the same time, it also means it's going to get pretty icy and ugly out there. So something that we're going to have to really keep an eye on in terms of the road conditions over the next 48 hours, especially over the northern interior. Temperatures over the interior are ranging from the upper 20s to lower 30s. Along the coast, mid to upper 30s. And of course, that's why we're seeing the rainfall. Out towards the eastern of Long Island, that's our warm spot at 46 degrees. And then as you head further east towards southeastern New England, that's where we're in the lower to mid 40s. So you can see the warm air surging and the cold air trying to invade in from the west. And of course, as you can see off to the west, with the strong cold air transport, it's really not that cold. Again, right around freezing. So again, marginal temperatures are involved in this setup. When we take a look at the latest surface map and radar from WeatherTap, here's our primary low, here's our secondary low, so you have a nice stretch, and you can see all these troughs. That's what this is, these troughs. And what's essentially going to happen as we go on through the day is that this low pressure system will continue to lift up and move due north towards the Gulf of Maine, and that's going to send this trough swinging south, while this cold air with this stationary front here drops down towards the coastal low. So everything's kind of evolving and shifting in that manner. And at 850 millibars, this is 850 millibar winds. I wanted to show you this because this is going to be key. As this feature consolidates into one mid-level low, right around, let's say, Block Island, and then shifting up towards the Gulf of Maine, this feature here is going to intensify, and this feature here is going to intensify. And so this feature will support the intense precipitation over southern New England, off towards the Catskills and parts of the Poconos. And then this feature here is going to support the very strong winds. And I'll show that in the model guidance when we study that data. We're going to go through a couple of the SPC mesoscale analysis. Again, this is our surface low. And when we take a look at the surface low with the temperatures, again, very marginal temperatures. Okay, I kind of want to make that clear because this explains the snow ratio and why, even though we're going to be changing over to snow along the coast, which is becoming clear based on the 850 millibar temperature steadily starting to fall, it's going to be very hard for that snow to accumulate. So you're going to see what some people call white rain, especially snowplow removers, because it's snowing, but it doesn't accumulate. And it just melts on the roadways because the roadways are around 37, the air temperature is around 35, 36, and then the impact of the March sun pretty much puts a kibosh on any chance of any type of accumulation. Meanwhile, I also want to show 850 millibars, nice frontogenesis, various levels of frontogenesis. That's strong lifting in the atmosphere. You got the surface here with our trough. You have 925 millibars, very impressive setup here. You have 850 millibars. This is going to start to set up our very strong deformation zone and just kind of a jet streak of heavy precipitation setting up from Massachusetts into portions of the Hudson River Valley. And at 700 millibars, this is going to be our low pressure system. It's going to shift out to east of Long Island and also enhance that jet streak and set up our deformation zone that's going to swing through the region for later on this afternoon. So all the pieces are coming together. This feature right here will continue to pivot and then drop south, and we'll show that in the model guidance as this whole low pressure system evolves. And so you can see that pretty nicely on a variety of different solutions. Let's see here. We got the divergence here. Pretty impressive, supporting our strong lifting. And let's see, I wanted to show one more thing, the jet circulation, which this explains the stretching of the atmosphere that we're talking about, and how at the upper levels it's getting stretched, and so as a result, air is rising rapidly. We talked about that in the live chat. And all of that can be seen very nicely here on our infrared satellite picture. There's our storm organizing. Here's all your strong lifting, getting ready to pivot. Again, we're kind of in this dry slot right now, which, again, I could probably show on here at 700 millibar analysis. There's our dry air, and that's why, when you look at the radar, we kind of get a break over southern New Jersey and Philadelphia, but that's all starting to fill in as the whole storm organizes. So again, this whole feature pivots and drops south. On the water vapor satellite picture, just a work of beauty. Okay, if you are really into atmospheric science, you really see just how amazing this is. This is the old subtropical shortwave. This is the old polar shortwave. They're combining, and your new storm is organizing right here. It's kind of stretched out now, but it'll eventually consolidate into one storm around the Gulf of Maine by the time we get to this evening. And this whole feature here is just going to pivot and drop south as a result. And you can see the strong subsidence that was associated with this storm earlier this morning around 1 a.m., 2 a.m., where we really weren't getting much in the way of precipitation. That's going to be continuing to swing out, and then this drops south. So let's look at a couple of model solutions. First of all, talk about the 850 millibar winds. Let's jump to the afternoon hours. And this, again, is at 850 millibars. So I was talking about that process. So this feature here is going to continue to shift and head towards New England, really enhance precipitation here throughout the day. This feature here with the strong cold air transport is going to mix down to the surface, and this is what's going to introduce our strong wind gusts. So yes, Philadelphia Metro, coastal New Jersey, parts of the New York City Metro, you will not see the worst in terms of precipitation, but the wind gusts associated with this mixing down of air here is going to institute the threat for wind gusts and power outages and some wind damage. So if you have anything outdoors still, I'd bring it inside before these wind gusts really start to amplify. Take a look at the lifting parameters here for this storm. Again, for this afternoon, our upper level low is moving quickly, so that's good. The storm isn't going to be hanging around. But when we take a look at 700 millibars for the afternoon hours, this feature right here is just kind of got a dumbbell right through the area, and that's what's going to support our snowfall for today. Again, not going to accumulate much, but it will reduce visibility at times. We can see it also here at 850 millibars, the same signal here dropping south. I think this might be a little bit more overdone. I think this might be more like a stretch trough, but you get the idea here where you get strong lifting dropping south and enhancing that precipitation. And then at 850 millibars, clearly cold enough for snow to fall. Just at this rate, you need this feature here to be over the northern Atlantic to get your temperatures down into the lower to mid 30s and overwhelm the influence of the March sun during the day. So again, we'll continue to keep an eye on this evolving storm. And the other thing that kind of stands out to me is that your strongest precipitable water values are all focused towards southern New England, which tells me your strongest lifting is focused out here too. So yes, we do get precipitation, but the precipitation rate is just not as impressive. If I was seeing this setting up here, I would be very concerned about snow accumulation. But because we're not seeing that ascent, I'm not as worried. And again, on the 700 millibar relative humidity, there's our dry slap moving off the coast, and there's our moisture dropping south. And this storm, again, moves pretty quickly. We're going to see windy conditions continuing on through tomorrow, but we're going to be drying out pretty nicely going forward after this. And just to show you the boundary layer temperatures for this afternoon, mid-levels plenty cold enough for snow. But at the surface, really your best potential for snow accumulation is going to be in your northern interior. Along the coastal plain, 35 to 38 degrees isn't going to cut it in this type of snowfall. Certainly not 40. So you kind of see why we are going where we're going. And this is the latest HRR, which now is pretty much in strong agreement with everything else. Along with the NAM, by the way, which is all pretty much in agreement at this point. You would think it would be, with this storm pivoting, and you can see the influence dropping south. And notice the model guidance is suggesting mixing with rain as well with the snow. So I think you're going to see snow mixed with rain and sleet and just kind of like a real gloppy mess dropping through the New York City metro for this afternoon, and then exits out this evening. So again, the overall forecast remains the same. No changes to that. Your impacts in terms of the heavy snowfall still in zone 1. And then as you head down towards the coastal plain, again, I can't stress enough, watch out for those windy conditions. And again, periods of snow producing, again, for zone 6, again, trace to 1 inch on cold surfaces. Zone 5, 1 to 3 inches on your cold surfaces, your grass, car tops, but your roadways generally remain wet, or maybe you see a little bit of slush. That is about it. After this storm exits, the 500 millibar pattern starts to shift as the polar jet stream starts to elevate northward, and the subtropical jet stream really starts to take hold. So what we're going to see is an active pattern still, but more Pacific origin storms. So this means temperatures near to slightly below normal, a cool spring, a wet spring, but not a cold spring, not like we're having temperatures like for February and March going forward. After this point, we really start to moderate, and that shows up pretty nicely here on the GFS as well, and on the European ensembles. What this tells me is that you get storm after storm marching its way through, setting the Pacific air, very active, very wet weather pattern setting up. As far as our temperatures, again, the coldest really moving through, and then we kind of go where we get these polar air masses coming into the northern plains, and then they moderate pretty quickly as they drive to the east. And we're going to see that theme quite a bit as we move forward through the rest of this month and into April. As far as the storm track on the ensemble guidance, again, you kind of get the idea here. These storms are marching across the country. Watch out for severe weather outbreaks starting to really take off over the southeast. But then these storms, more El Nino-like characteristics. Interesting. That's already starting to show up here. Again, never trust the details, but let's just put it as very active, very wet pattern taking hold over much of the United States. And so let's walk through our forecast for today. And here we go. All right, so for today, again, rain, snow, just a mess of raw, ugly weather conditions. Temperatures holding in the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. Temperatures going to be waffling back and forth in those ranges as precipitation moves through. Heavy precipitation, temperatures fall. Precipitation backs off, temperatures rise. It's going to be interesting to watch the wet snow that accumulates and then melts just as quickly because of the high water content once the precipitation backs off and your temperatures jump up back to like 38 degrees. So we're going to be dealing with that today with strong northwesterly winds at 15 to 30 miles per hour, at times gusts over 50 miles per hour. Watch out for that wind damage. For tonight into tomorrow morning, slow clearing, windy conditions continue from the northwest around 15 to 30 miles per hour, subsiding to 10 to 20 miles per hour by tomorrow morning. Low temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s in your suburbs, and lower to mid 30s in your urban areas. For tomorrow afternoon, look for scattered cloud cover, still breezy, with high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. We will see a pretty steady melting and then refreezing overnight as high pressure passes through the region Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and that's going to allow temperatures to plummet. So you have this very wet snowpack that melts. It's going to lead to icy conditions all over the place on Thursday morning, with low temperatures over the interior ranging from the lower teens to lower 20s, depending on your elevation and the depth of your snowpack. Along the coast, they'll range from the mid 20s to lower 30s. So again, more icy, of course, as you head towards the interior, especially with that melting snowpack. But by the afternoon, temperatures rebound just as quickly, with winds starting to come out of the southwest. Look for high temperatures to range from the mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. That melt is going to be enhanced, and it's going to be even faster with plenty of sunshine. On Friday, look for increasing cloud cover with high pressure passing off the coast. Winds are going to be from the southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour, times gusting to 20. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid to upper 30s. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s around the New York City metro, and mid to upper 50s around the Philadelphia metro and Delaware River Valley. On Saturday, a cold front will move through with periods of showers, especially in the morning, followed by clearing skies in the afternoon. Look for low temperatures to range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. High temperatures in the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, and lower to mid 50s along the coast. On Sunday, high pressure will build in with a fresh polar air mass. It's going to allow your temperatures to fall off into the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. And then on Monday, high pressure will be in place with scattered cloud cover. Again, chilly, with low temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast, but high temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s. And then on Tuesday, with another area of low pressure approaching, look for increasing cloud cover with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast, high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. And then we'll watch this low pressure system march up the coast for the middle of next week. This one looks pretty warm, mostly rain, maybe some snow and sleet for the Poconos and Catskills, but this is basically an Appalachians winter storm and a coastal rainstorm. That is your forecast discussion for today. I hope you guys learned everything you could about this storm and are prepared for it. I will have coverage throughout the day via Twitter, Facebook, and Discord on the development of the storm in case anything changes or anything unusual happens. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.